Hello YouTube, this is Barbara Jean. This is going to be a short video. I'm not going to be very long, but I wanted to do a little add-on to my Nebuchadnezzar 666 video. Something that I just was looking up, and I was thinking about that image, the image of the beast, and I wanted to read a couple of verses just here for you in Daniel. Uh, Verse Daniel 4:21, whose leaves were fair and the fruit thereof. He's talking about a tree. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about being a tree and the trees being hewn down. But this is verse 20. Thus the tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all, under which the beast, remember this is going to be important. The beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of the heavens had their habitation. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reached unto heaven, and thy dominion to all the earth. So Nebuchadnezzar had become as great as the Lord was going to allow him to get. He had become powerful and mighty. And the beasts of the field and the fowls of the earth have made their habitation in this kingdom of his. Now I want to go to verse. He's prophesied. He does this dream, and Daniel prophesies to him that he's going to become insane. Um, then in verse 33, he says, so Nebuchadnezzar becomes very proud, and he starts saying to himself, well, self, this is all because of you and because of how great you are. And he becomes insane. And he's prophesied by Daniel that he's going to be cast out of his own kingdom, which is what happens. Verse 33, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers. So you've got the beast and you've got the feathers from a bird. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? That's interesting. So, and his nails like claws, bird's claws. And he apparently was like this for 7 years. He became like a beast. And until he actually humbled himself and gave himself to the Lord, and at least acknowledged the Lord. That's not until the end of Daniel 4. Now, what I thought was really interesting was that I looked back. I thought to myself, well, where did I see this beast before, this image before? Well, it's the image of Babylon. Babylon has this thing it's called the Lamassu, Lamassu. It's a winged bull or a winged lion, but it could be a bull, a winged bull with a man's head, and so it's got wings like an eagle. It's got the body of a bull and a head of a man. And if you recall back in I think it's chapter 3. This in chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar has been given this dream by God, that of this statue, and he was the head of gold on this statue. That's how Daniel interprets it for him, because the Lord gave him the interpretation. Was that Nebuchadnezzar was the head of gold on this statue. And then in chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar gets this great idea, or so he thinks, of making an image. And Nebuchadnezzar, this is verse 1, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was threescore cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. And he set it up in the plains of Dura, in the province of Babylon. And so what's interesting about this is that I'm thinking, what is this image? Well, it's probably the image of a man with a head, because this was their common, apparently it was a common Babylonian god, and it has the god, it had something to do with, it was a household protector and of royalty, and it had something to do with a god called Papskukal, Papsukkal, and the god Isum, or Shedu, Isum, or Shedu. Kind of reminds me of ISIS or Islam. So very interesting to think about this. Now, so he sets up this image in chapter 3, and he's told that this golden image, which has basically the dimensions of 666, and he's told that when the music, they're told, the people of this area are told, if once they hear the music singing, the voice of the song, the music, they're supposed to fall down and bow at the foot of this, or bow down and worship this idol. What does this remind you of? This reminds you of Islam, because they're all supposed to, when you hear the songs of prayer from the, what is it called, this Tourette's or whatever they're called, of Islam, they hear this music, and they're all supposed to fall down and worship. This is the same idea. This is the same thing that's happened here. This is probably the first time this has happened. Nebuchadnezzar gets this idea once he makes this image, and everyone's supposed to fall down and worship when they hear the sound of the music. Isn't this interesting? So, and of course, the Jews refuse to do it. They refuse to bow down and worship this image, and as a result, they're thrown into the fiery furnace, which God protects them from. But isn't this interesting? I just thought I'd throw that in here and let you know that I believe that we're beginning to see the image of the beast. The beast is this head of a man with the body of a bull and the wings of an eagle. The wings of an eagle. This is called a lamassu. Lamassu. It's a winged bull with a human head, and it refers to, it's an ancient Babylonian god. Interesting. Anyway, just like I said, a short little video, something to think about, something to put together with some of the other things you know or understand, that we're beginning to get a picture of what's really going on. So God bless you, and I hope this helps somebody out there.